Welcome back to the Lanterne Rouge Cycling Podcast, the recap of the Coutume du Dauphiné Stage 5. We're going to talk parcours design, the attitude of teams, another break victory, and why is this stage 234 kilometers? It was from Saint-Martin-le-Venu to Le Puy-en-Velay, very long, 234 Ks and 3,700 meters of elevation gain all throughout this hilly up stage. A little bit of rain forecast that they did have, about an hour and a half from the finish. Tomorrow's stage is a team time trial, a very key one. 28.4 Ks, hilly TTT. And we had, do you have any abandons, Benji?
I don't know, man. I can I be really honest? I don't think I've been this sleepy after a stage in a long time. It's not a good sign.
This was tough. And listen, I don't mind a break stage on stage 5 or 6 of the Dauphiné. You normally have that. I mean, last year we had a beautiful break fight, remember, between Van der Poel and even Romeo anticipated and won. That was a fantastic break. 2 break stages in a row to begin the most prestigious one-week race of the year leaves me a little bit disinterested. I don't even mind the break winning. So let's be clear, actually. I got no problem with the breakaway winning.
Correct.
And no disrespect to who eventually wins, but the best riders for this breakaway were not even the second best, because of the circumstances and context of this race. So yesterday, everybody thought, Decathlon were going to launch Seychelles, create GC gaps, and then they would be responsible for the race today.
False. I actually predicted an EF breakaway victory, but I selected Michael Leonard instead of Baudin.
But Leonard was good in the Dauphiné break last year at the back end of the race, actually.
Didn't he win a stage earlier this year, or did I invent that in my head?
That may be AJ August you're confusing with Leonard.
Yeah, you're right. Damn it.
Anyway.
North Americans, they're all the same, right?
So Baudin wins virtually unopposed yesterday in front of a disinterested Peloton. Then EF EF want to keep the jersey on Baudin's shoulders. They want to honor the jersey. They want to keep it for an extra day. Well, if they do a good TTT, they might keep it for an extra 2 days. They want to keep it on his shoulders. Okay?
Yep.
Fair enough. It's not how we saw it, but yeah, that's another factor. So we then have break formation today. There's loads of riders that are good, who are close on GC because it was so passive yesterday. So your Van Gils of the world, what's he on? He's on 30.
Yeah, Ramses de Bruyne, those type of riders.
They're actually up in GC. And these are the perfect guys, Ben Tullett, these punchers, they're all in GC. You then have, so EF are not going to let them in the break because EF don't want them taking the jersey. You then have all these teams worried about the TTT the next day. That's all I heard in the interviews. We don't want to pull. We don't want to go on the break. We don't want to waste energy because there's a TTT tomorrow. I got news for everybody. How many stage wins, Benji, are up for grabs tomorrow?
I think there's only one.
And how many were up for grabs today?
I think there was one available today and one yesterday.
And how many teams can legitimately have a chance to win tomorrow?
3?
Today, it's 20.
Yeah. And I want to add on top of that, if you're EF education first, what would you rather have? A jersey among your shoulders for one more day with Baudin? Or would you rather have a potential stage win with Ben Healy today?
Today, he also goes into the jersey.
Yes.
It's on everyone. It's like Visma going for GC, so Amarel, Hagenez, Tullett not in the break. UAE, Koznifer, Vermarka not in the break because they're also Koznifer said, nah, tomorrow we got to go for the. I was like, fuck me, if you're in the break today, no one's beating you. Ineos the same. Like, I don't know. I don't agree with it. I think it's like there's always a hyperfixation on some stages, and then teams just let like other stages go. But you know who doesn't? And maybe because they're a newer team, UnoX. UnoX, because they're a newer team, and because Johannesson shat the bed yesterday, they had the liberty to go in the break.
Exactly. It wasn't just them, though. There were quite a few teams willing to go in this breakaway formation. And even Red Bull tried with, I think, Callum Torney in early break formation. A 6-man group was formed there, but they didn't really go. Eventually, 2 breakaway groups formed that eventually merged that had Garcia Pierna, your man, RGP, the Movistar rider, Vlad van Mechelen for Bahrain Victorious, Baptiste Weisstroffer for Lotto Intermarché Jordan Giga, who lost some time yesterday after a mechanical before the last climb. He's now on 12 minutes in GC, so easily free to go in the breakaway. Alex Diaz for Caja Rural, Nadav Reisberg for NSN, Benjamin Thomas for Cofidis, Clément Brazafonso, your little friend from Groupama, Henri-François Renard Haquet, what a name, man, for Picnic Personnel, and finally Anton Charmich for UNOX. That's the 10-man breakaway up the road today. Notably, the closest rider is on 5 minutes 35, Brazafonso. And this gap will be important later, because we see in break formation, well, actually, we see on the tickers in break formation, because there's no break formation broadcast here, that EF was pretty present in terms of controlling this breakaway gap and so forth. So they seemingly kept the gap at about 5 minutes max, 6 minutes roughly at the maximum point throughout the stage. And that is roughly near the time gap of Brazafonso. So it was clear that EF had one goal today, which is keep Mr. Baudin in the yellow jersey. And it looked like that was going to work, but then it went to 6 minutes with about 40 kilometers to go. But that's not a problem, because you still got multiple riders left. You're investing a lot, though, right? We see Ben Healy even pulling hard behind the breakaway.
Quinn, so Sean Quinn could have won the sprint today, so Godon was no option today. Because I was expecting after the long climb in the middle that a team would come to help EF. EF had it pegged at 5:30. I was like, but then, because Godon said if the breakaway was in reach, they might come and chase eventually, but they didn't, because, he obviously wasn't feeling too good. Van Aert also not good yesterday or making the finish today. Michael Matthews, I'm not sure if he made this finish. It's hard to know, because, like, the stage
he tried to go in the break,
okay.
Matthews.
Yeah, because he probably sensed the attitude of the peloton that was where the win was going to be. By the way, Henri-François Renard Haquin, giving your kid a double barrel name, that's nuts.
What is the Australian vibe in terms of naming?
No, I'm just saying, if you're going to have a double barrel surname, why are you going the double barrel first name? That is crazy.
Yeah, but like from a Belgian perspective, double barreling is not a thing. So I'm trying to figure out what these Anglophone French people are doing, because in England we've got quite often that the wife that is being married then takes the name of the husband, which I also find a bit weird. So it's been very, I think it's very eye-opening to discover the last names of the world, to be honest.
So like in Spain or like in Northern Europe, they don't do a double barrel. They just take 2 names, right? And then in you can do a double barrel. So that's with the hyphen, where you just merge the 2 and it becomes 1 name. That's what he's got.
I think Iceland is the best.
What they do.
If you have a son, your son would be called Patrickson. And if you have a daughter, your daughter would be called
Patrick daughter.
I don't know if it's your name or your wife's name, but it would add Dottir at the back.
That makes sense. It's kind of,
Ms. Rouge Dottir.
Right. Anyway, he's in the break. The break's gone. And obviously we got 2 favorites in there, Brazafonso and Garcia Pierre, and we're all cheering for them to win. As I said, EF do a very strong job with Steinhauser and co controlling this, and Healy, and we see Fugas de la Fuga, and I already called it. Benji and I went way too early with our call. We saw Weisstroffer attack really strongly, and I just went stages over.
I went stages over at 11 this morning, and I said Weisstroffer would win, so I locked it in way too early. The break wasn't even formed yet.
Yeah, exactly. So Weisstroffer was in. Was Fuga de la Fuga. Unfortunately, he got dropped on the climb by Brazafonso. Then there was rolling terrain and came back with Vlad van Mechelen, who's like a rouleur for Bahrain, and Raul Garcia Pierna. Then there was a subsequent climb. There's a 2K, 7% climb, 12Ks from the finish. Charmig was with RGP and Brazafonso. Brazafonso's kind of riding for GC Gap as well, I guess.
Yeah.
but at this point he was on 3.5 minutes. I do think he was really playing for the stage. And Charmik, who's a good puncher, by the way, he's just been inconsistent. He was 7th in TDU this year, which was a puncher's effort. And he was...
He won a Turkish race 3 years ago, right?
He won... Oh, wow. He won the Kuryat stage in Tour of Oman in 2022, 4 years ago. Now, they don't use that climb anymore, I don't believe. I might
be wrong.
Is that
about a Turkish race 3 years ago?
That's not Jabal Hut, is it? No,
you're the expert.
That's not. It's in the. I think that's in the city of. Yeah.
I swear, Charmik won a Turkish race in his life.
No, I think
2021. No way.
No, I don't think so.
No, he didn't.
I don't think so. So anyway, Charmik was on very hyped rider. He was on the UnoX development team. Sorry, he was on Cola Quick in COVID. Then he was on UnoX Devo team. Then he was on UnoX. Then there was like contract issues where he was like wanting a bigger offer, I remember. And then he went to Astana. Was this the guy who last minute went to Astana? And then he performed.
Or was that Gregor?
I don't know.
I think Jonas Gregor did the exact same. So you could be talking about Gregor instead.
I don't know, man. And yeah, he came back to UnoX this year. He had some okay results. Like if you look through his results, 18th in San Sebastian, 7th in Quebec. If you can come 7th in Quebec, you are the favorite in this breakaway in a puncher 2K 7% climb. And he does. He just dusts everybody off on the climb, drops Raul Garcia Pierna. We might have to make him an enemy because of that.
No. Because Raul Garcia Pierna also bottled the sprint for second place. So he has no.
Why was he chasing Razafonso?
I don't fucking know.
Maybe for like GC because he was on 20 minutes. I don't know. So
at this point, the gap towards the Peloton, by the way, was like notably under the 5 minutes 45.
Yeah, it's 3 minutes.
Brazafonso GC storyline completely gone. Because if you're under that gap, it doesn't matter if you're on 10 seconds virtually or a minute 20. It's not like he'll be allowed to go in the breakaway again tomorrow, you know?
I don't think so. Then maybe they've got their pacing wrong at Groupama for the TTT. So
it's true.
I don't think he'll be going off the front in the TTT tomorrow. He'll be going off the back. Charmig wins the stage for UnoX. Their strike rate in breakaways is remarkable, and as I said, that is from like a freedom to go in these breaks, to target them. If there's a break that will go to the finish, a UnoX rider will be in it. They're not like bound by tradition, bound by XYZ. So he wins biggest race of his career by far, UnoX this year. They haven't won that frequently, 6 Ws, but 3 World Tour wins, 1 at the Giro, 1 at the Dauphiné here, and 1 at Catalunya. Last year they had 23 wins. So, but yeah, they're doing fine. Points-wise, they're doing very, very well. Second was Henry Francois Renard Haquin from Picnic Personnel. It's the best result of his World Tour career. He is like a punchy guy. He was on Wagner Bazin, which folded the pro team last year. He's 23. And third was Van Mechelen, fourth Garcia Pierna, fifth Brazafonso. Benjamin Thomas and Jegat came in sometime later. Finn Fisher Black and Van Hills led in the bunch, 3 minutes 13 down. No, did anyone drop from GC? Schkelmoser had a mech, but it didn't matter. He got the 3K rule benefit. Yeah. What do we say about this?
I'm really distracted because I was scouring Twitter with one eye and I saw a post by Discussing Film, which usually announces new film information, Patrick. And you know Scooby-Doo, right? You had that in your country in Australia, probably?
Yeah, they had it, yeah.
So you had like the dog with the big head and like the ears at the top.
Yep.
They're making a live action version of that. And the live action version of Scooby-Doo the dog is quite literally just a chocolate Labrador. This is heresy. I'm sorry. I'm not having that shit.
Isn't it a Great Dane?
The picture I'm seeing is a puppy chocolate Labrador.
Scooby-Doo is supposed to be a Great Dane, I think.
Might be misinformation, but the account is not discussing fish, so it's not the parody account.
Okay. Anyway, that was... Can we just say now, Benji, this is a public service announcement? Do not put team time trials after stage 1 of a race. Completely blocks the race. If you had the TTT on stage 1, right?
Yeah.
And then this stage on stage 2, or maybe yesterday's stage on stage 2, like...
It doesn't just impact the passiveness of stage 1 and 2, but it's also, from a fairness standpoint, I don't think it's right. Hypothetically, I've said it yesterday, I think, if just like stage 2 of the Giro, half a team crashes out, then you've got 8 riders versus 4 riders on stage 3 team time trial, making differences for GC. And TTTs in itself, I like them sometimes. I do understand that they, by default, benefit richer teams, although it doesn't necessarily negate the chances of the non-rich teams in the process. I think they should always be stage 1. And I haven't made my mind up whether I hate the woke TTT rules, because to talk about tomorrow's team time trial, normally the rules in a team time trial are the time of your 4th rider counts. That's not the rule at the Dauphiné, the Tour de France, and the Paris-Nice. In the ASO stage races, the rule is that it's the individual times that count, because basically if Paul Sixas launches on the final uphill segment to the line away from his decathlon riders, downhole and so forth, then Paul Sixas's time will count for Paul Sixas. Downhole, if he comes in 10 seconds later, his time will count for himself, that kind of stuff. And that plays a role in tomorrow's parkour, Patrick, because if we take a look at that parkour, then there's, in my opinion, 3 climbs. The first 2 in the first half of the race are 5K 3.5%, 1K 5.2%, but that's really a longer climb, actually. That's just a gradual longer climb, similar to the first one. And then there's basically 40% of the last portion of the time trial is just false flat downhill to the final ramp of, I think, maybe 500 meters at 6% roughly. I think if you're decathlon, you want to keep downhole with you for that false flat downhill for success, and then you launch him on the final climb, right?
Yeah, I think so. They need Bissiger and Downholer to put in a big shift. I think Holer's fine. I have question marks over Bissiger. They got to go so Bissiger can help on that false flat downhill. Dorian Godon didn't look good today. He dropped earlier than expected. Maybe resting the legs. Could be.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit too early for that. So I think maybe for the TTT tomorrow. Yeah, I think Ineos are weaker for the TTT tomorrow. Apparently, some of these teams brought literally like 8 rouleurs or 7 rouleurs plus a GC, guys. These teams are more balanced here with some climbers. It's also a Helio course, so I think like the impact Tarling makes might be a little bit less than at Paris-Nice. So I'm not sure I see Ineos winning, actually. Because then I go for, if Godon's sick, okay, Rodriguez not helping. Only's, yeah, you got, what trucks do you have? Watson, Vocal, and Tarling. Is Depluce a truck?
He's not terrible, but I'm like trying to compare the teams instead of just looking at one here.
Trek, I think, is pretty, like every Trek rider, I would say, is good, competent, or above average.
Yeah, for sure. It's like Decathlon was speaking loudly about focusing on the team time trial at the Tour de France as a big goal. Trying to win that is, I think, what I heard said. Now, I don't think Riccatello being out of the race already matters that much for the team, because he wouldn't have been the biggest effect in that team time trial. If anything, he might have been a parachute at the back. So he's the rider that is least missed in this lineup for the team time trial, is what I would say. But if you then look at Little Trek, I think that's a strong team for a team time trial.
Especially for a hilly one like this.
Ineos is a good team for a team time trial, man. Like, Almeida is a parachute for UAE based on his level in the last 2 days.
And Torres.
Yeah.
So yeah, Trekker got Ayuso, Bernard, Kemner, Simmons, Skjelmose, Skuins, Verona. So it's actually, they don't have Soderfist, they don't have Pedersen, the big boys, or Valscheid. But this course isn't about that. You actually need guys who can go as fast as Ayuso, pulling on, I assume Ayuso is going to pull the first climbs. come over the top with him and then pull full on the false flat downhill. And that's where, like, decathlon, Prudhomme just straight up dropped off the wheel of Hola. Can Bissiger, he has to climb really well. Like, if you look at decathlon, they are Bizio, Seichas, Bissiger, Hola, APP, Prudhomme. In Paris-Nice, they had a different roster. They also had... Where are they? They had Case Bowl, Sander de Pestel, Oscar Chamberlain, who's a rouleur, Callum Scottson, he's Australian, so he can do a TTT. And yeah, it was like, I don't know.
For me, Visma on paper is a very strong team time trial team where if I discount anything equipment and so forth, then this is the strongest team time trial team that I could come up with on this whole start list. I'm not sure where the equipment differences are between teams at this point in the season for time trials. Haven't been hyper focusing on it.
Let's just say all the rich teams are equal.
Then Visma should win.
Armirail, Affini, Hagenes, Van Aert, Jorgensen, they got like five proper trucks. Tullet's in a TTT is probably better than an ITT. Nordhagen's just got to hang on.
But on the last climb, Sixas is faster than Jorgensen.
Exactly. So Decathlon, I think, got a simpler strategy. Go as fast as you can to the bottom of the file. If it's just Dan Hola pulling him for the last 10 Ks before the climb, that might be the right thing to do.
Yeah.
EF, I think, is solid, but not the horsepower. Movistar.
What's the gap? Again, GC-wise.
They got 32 seconds.
Wow.
I think that's going to be tough.
I don't think Baudin's keeping it. I'm sorry.
What do they lose in Paris-Nice? It was a different TT, but it was 27 minutes. This one's longer. They lost 23 seconds. I think it's going to be close. I think if the
Movistar.
Also a good team.
Sneaky good. Yeah. Romeo, Garcia Pierna, your man. Yep. Cepeda, the good time trial one. Hesman, Castrillo. Pescodar and Uiterbroeks are not exactly the names I'd push forward for a team time trial, but Uiterbroeks is obviously the GC leader, so we'll have to find a way to follow.
I think they'll do a competent time trial.
Top 5, maybe.
Yeah, possible. Red Bull will do probably a competent one, but not. It's also they don't have the horses, they don't have Dens, the Van Dykes, etc. I think it's between Trek and Visma and Ineos.
I think we might be underrating how much of a difference Hola as himself can make in a team time trial.
Yeah, but is he better than like Affini, you know?
Wasn't he like fucking crazy good at that Paris-Nice team time trial?
Yeah, he was. He was insanely good.
So I would put Decathlon in the same range just because of Hola. I think
team before the halfway point of this TTT. I'm not kidding.
Isn't that what happened in Paris-Nice?
It might also be the optimal strategy. Like we can't wait for you losers.
I am being corrected by Chad, by the way. The picture was not a chocolate Labrador. It was a Great Dane, like you said. They just look exactly the same as puppies. So my apologies for not being a dog expert.
What time checks do we have tomorrow? We have all at the top of both climbs. Lovely. 3. We got 2 intermediates. I love 2 intermediates. So
yeah.
Okay. And I'm looking forward to it. We have to get some GC action. Yeah. Can we talk about a rumor? I can't promise a weekly show. Can we talk about a rumor? Because not much else happened today. Because he won.
So much to talk about, by the way.
Let's just do
what
this
rumor
one.
You want to dive into?
Well, we did Brussels Cycling Classic yesterday. So Red Bull have really been doing a good job on the minor calendar. They've taken their classics guys and they've put them on the minor classics calendar. Dunkirk, Volony, and yesterday they won again in Brussels Cycling Classic. Pithy locked the whole race down, and then Mayus won the sprint ahead of Fratat and Biniam. But yeah, Mayus, he's going to trek Benji. Not the only person going to trek. Actually, we have to do a weekly. There's too much shit to talk about. We should have.
That's the exact point that I was about to make, because if we bring up Jordi Mays, we have to bring up all the other potential changes. We have to bring up Grisha,
Niemann going to trek. We have to bring the musical chairs and management.
Jordan Giga rumors, etc. The rest of the roster rumors.
Let's do a transfers rumor pod.
First impressions though on Mayus?
I don't get it.
The rumored salary of 1.5 to 1.7 million. is a lot of money for Jordi Meus.
Is it though?
Like, a good Jordi Meus does get 1,500 UCI points per year.
But is that what Trek? But the point is, they're not. I understand Tudor Q365 going and overpaying.
Yeah.
For maybe infrequently winning classic sprinters who can rack up huge points. Meus is actually above that. Meus does win. He won in Brussels Classic yesterday. He won Copenhagen last year. He won on Champs-Elysees. He actually can win a big race every now. He can win a big race once every 18 months. He has.
Yes. Yeah, but Tour de France versus Copenhagen Sprint is still a level difference, eh?
Copenhagen, it's a World Tour one-day classic. Like, he can win the
It's the Champs-Elysees stage of the Tour de France.
He can win. He can win stage 21 this year.
I think it's feasible. Don't think he's a favorite.
But I'm saying he's above like the real the top 5 position farmers in these.
He's not like a Bauhaus, Malucelli, whatever type.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a better example, like Mozzato even.
That's not in. We're not in the same galaxy.
Yeah, but Mozzato has a value to Tudor. He scores points from coming top. He came top 3 in Kona.
I think for me, when it comes to the Meus transfer, we're talking about teams that are overpaying for UCI points, etc.
That doesn't matter.
But when it comes to,
it shouldn't.
But when it comes to the Trek, they're just like Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe has been trying the pay-to-play strategy, is how I'd classify it, in the last 5 years of cycling. It started with, I think, Hindley, Daniel Felipe Martinez, and Higuita, if I recall, as Vlasov, for example, as like tier 2.5 GC riders at the time of purchasing. Hindley then ended up winning the Giro, so that one paid off. But in the long term, those 3 transfers didn't necessarily bring them closer to winning the Tour de France, maybe except for Hindley bringing more attention to the team with that Giro victory. So we got to give credit to Hindley there. Then the next step was signing Roglic as an attempt to have a potential Grand Tour winner in their team, which, yes, he won the Vuelta. And then the next step was signing Remco Evenepoel to try and obtain a rider that could potentially win the Tour de France in the future. So it is pay-to-play strategy where, when it comes to Trek, ever since Lidl arrived, they've been spending so much money, Patrick. So much money. And Trek's not that much better of a team in terms of results compared to when Lidl arrived.
No, they're worse.
Exactly my point.
but with the signings they've made, they will be better than they were this year. But is that the most efficient way to? Because like these teams, the super teams, right? They don't care about really farming UCI points on a Wednesday in a wet race in Belgium. Like, that is not why these huge sponsors are paying money. It's Yellow Jersey. It's Tour de France stage wins. It's winning Grand Tours. It's winning Paris-Roubaix, Tour of Flanders. So Pogacar is most commercially valuable. Well, him and Seychelles are the most commercially valuable. So they're like, why overpay for Meus then? How is Meus bringing you closer to like the organization's professed goals?
I heard rumors that it would be to help. I think I saw it in the Bram van der Capelle article, maybe, that Meus would be a potential lead-out partner for Jonathan Milan.
Danny Van Poppel exists.
Yeah, Danny Van Poppel exists. I agree with you there.
Turnison exists.
Meus is also at a point where he's winning races where usually that kind of rider doesn't end up being a lead-out.
He's too good. He's 27 and he's winning like he's won 4 races this year.
I always bring us back to the olden days. The olden days. I've spent my whole afternoon rewatching the Tour de France 2010. And
you're about to bring up HTC Columbia.
Yes and no. Not 2010 HTC Columbia. They had years where Greipel was leading out Cavendish. We had years with Cervelo test team where Hushoft was leading out Farrer. I've been begging for this for 2.5 years now. What if Mess Pedersen was the lead out for Jonathan Milan?
That has always been the solution. That's always been the solution. You had Sturven.
It's just because Pedersen doesn't want to. That's the reality.
Sturven, Pedersen, Milan, would have been unstoppable, positioned by turns.
Staven's gone now, so he won't come back to Trek.
But then, like, is his dream to lead out Johnny Milan?
Of course not. Dude won a Tour de France stage.
I don't know.
I think he wants to win a classic.
How the fuck is he going to do that?
I think he can win a passive Gent-Wevelgem.
No, I'm saying he can. He could have won Gent-Wevelgem this year, perhaps, if the door was opened.
Laporte.
Pardon the pun. So, how is he going to do that behind Milan and Pedersen?
I actually don't know. Is it to...
Maybe you race in front with Pedersen and he's your sprint option behind?
Like,
that can work.
Milan for Gent-Wevelgem is possible on his best possible form.
Not what I've seen.
Very passive race, which is very unlikely for Gent-Wevelgem. So, Pedersen, your offensive option, and Meus, your defensive option, is a possibility. But then, with a Kuurne-Brussel-Kuurne, for example, similar scenario, I just think he can do the same exact thing on a different team, where he has more opportunities.
Ineos was the perfect fit. Ineos, absolutely the perfect fit. They have missed a classics finisher for like 3-4 years.
Imagine Gunnar, offensive rider, Jordi Meus, defensive sprinter.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, what was the race we were criticizing them for? Was it Gent-Wevelgem?
I couldn't tell you anymore.
There was a race that they got a lot of stick for chasing because they had no sprinter, and then the next week they changed up and they won Dwars Duel. It might have been Gent-Wevelgem.
It might have been Gent-Wevelgem, yeah.
So Meus is the perfect fit there.
Or unpopular opinion, replacement for Milano at UAE.
Oh Jesus! Don't give them ideas, but yeah, that would have been a perfect fit. Because Poggy's not doing these races. He doesn't want to. And then you got the offensive guys in Wellens. And then you got Meus, the backup, reliable classic sprinter.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been a good fit. Yeah, but I don't think UAE want to overpay. I don't think UAE overpay for riders right now.
That's the thing.
It's a misconception.
That's the thing I also wanted to bring forward. I know we're doing half a transfer preview, but it doesn't matter. We've got enough for an entire podcast. I can assure you. There's a billion pieces of news and rumors out there. The point I'm trying to make as well is, like you just said, UAE is not the reason that the sprinter values on the market have gone up. Decathlon paying 3 million for Koi is the reason that sprinter values on the market are going up.
And the pro teams who want the classic sprint points.
Yeah, so UAE is actually not overpaying. It's actually not impacting the market values as much as people are pretending they are. It's the other teams that are doing so, and in doing so, ruining the smaller teams more that they were back in the day. Because Decathlon was that smaller team 2 years ago.
Is it also the case that we're seeing like riders used to be you don't go to a team stacked with talent because you want your own chances, but maybe they're seeing now you want to be surrounded and then you have more chance to win when you're surrounded by like other strong riders. I don't know, but why would he leave Bora? Is he a good fit there?
The thing with Bora is that
they want to win GC.
You've got a lot of cooks in the kitchen in a classics race.
But Pithy and Meus coexist quite nicely, I think. Rhône-Alpes, Pithy goes on the offensive, Meus sits in behind, Pithy does the job in front, Meus is the backup, like in Brussels yesterday.
It worked well at Omloop and Kuurne.
Yeah.
At least Omloop. Omloop.
I think Pithy and Meus a nice combo.
Yeah, and like, maybe he's experienced what has changed in the Red Bull and doesn't like the way Greg goes to him and says 1.5 to 1.7 million. Sign on the second, Jordi Meus.
How big a plot of land can that get you, Benji, in West Flanders? Can we need to do what's the name of your website for like real estate in West Flanders?
The name of my you think I've ever been able to afford real estate?
Like, what's your realestate.com.au? Is it rightmove.co.uk?
I can assure you, I've never been in a position to purchase a piece of land nor a building in my entire life. And I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. I have no clue what these websites are called.
What does a 800 square meter with a fucking obscenely large garage to put like hobby farm equipment in, and what does that run you in 15 minutes outside of Rhône-Alpes?
We talk in different leagues, Pat. You talk about real estate. I talk about how many Lego sets can I purchase with 1.5 million per year.
Don't pretend like it's a hobby. So
that's not true. I've got one Lego set that has become an investment accidentally. I paid money for it. It's accidentally doubled in price a month after I purchased it, and now it's so valuable I don't want to open it.
I got to go back onto I got Ugly Belgian Houses Instagram account, no free ads, but I follow that. So
isn't that just every house in Belgium?
Some of them are quirky. Alrighty. Anyway, this prompted me that we have a lot to talk about. We should do a full transfers recap. I reckon we get an hour out of it. Perhaps we do that on maybe one of the sprint stages. We just like say the result, and then we do that on Wednesday, Thursday.
We can get. We almost got 20 minutes out of your email. So
yeah. Okie dokie. Thanks for listening as always, and we'll see you with a recap of the TTT tomorrow. Until then, ciao ciao.